going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we got reactions from Rachel Nichols and Michelle Beadle about what's going on over there at ESPN with the layoffs and everything. Now, Rachel Nichols hasn't said anything personally, but she's reacted by sharing a lot of tweets, liking a lot of tweets, and I'm showing you a list of those right now. It's too many to read and just go through them one by one, but you have to remember a lot of times these people still have relationships with their former co-workers. And what happened with Rachel Nichols and the way it ended kind of abruptly with ESPN when that audio was leaked to elevate Maria Taylor to the NBA Finals. A lot of NBA fans was not feeling that, and then it not only did it elevate Maria Taylor, because she left and she went to, I believe, NBC or something like that, but it brought in the Malika Andrews era, because you have to think NBA Today, that show used to be The Jump with Rachel Nichols and those guys, and it was a very well received show. If you don't remember what happened with her, let's check that out first.
They said to me, hey, instead of hosting the NBA Finals, why don't you do Doris' sound reporter job for the NBA Finals? Because guess what that was going away for? For Maria to do the hosting. Yeah. So, I have declined. I don't know what their next move is, but they are feeling pressure because of all of that. And I'm trying to figure out how to just, my thing is that I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covered football, she covered basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy one-time record anniversary, which, by the way, I myself know personally from the female side of it, go for it. Just, find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it with me.
And went down there, and it was a different set of equipment than I had been using to broadcast at home. Nobody back at ESPN told me that there was an open line to my hotel room, and anyone who looked at the feed could see me. No one shut it off. And at least one person decided to just sit and watch and started spying on me like I was their own personal television show. And when they heard something they thought was juicy, they picked up their cell phone and they started recording my conversation on their cell phone. Things kind of progressed at ESPN. HR did a full investigation into it. They told me that I had done nothing wrong that required any kind of discipline. Then 6 months later, they actually gave me a contract extension and a raise. And they held on to this tape for a year. Just kept it in their pocket. And then when there was a point they wanted some leverage with their own situations, they fed it to the press.
So now we also have Michelle Beadle, who really good friends with, Jalen Rose, really good friends with a lot of the guys that was let go at ESPN still to this day. And she had an interesting take on it and why ESPN and their shows can't compete with Inside the NBA on TNT. Now, I think it's a lot of reasons. You brought in Charles Barkley, who had a larger-than-life personality coming into the sports media world. You got Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson. That's how it started. And then back in 2011, they brought in Shaq. They don't have many drastic moves. And that's exactly what Beadle is trying to say. They're very calculated with how they handle, their sports show. Even when they brought in Candace Parker in that group, they don't overly mix that group. You know what I'm saying? They have them for Tuesday night, and they have, Shaq and them. They don't mix and match what works. They have it like a little brother type show to the big show, and that just happened recently. Because most of the time it was just Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck. But she says that position in that show has never been allowed to marinate, and it's sort of why you continue to see change. It's unfortunate. It's why TNT dominates because they're allowed to marinate for decades and the product gets better year after year. So that's my simple take on what I observed while I was there at ESPN. And, she also spoke on Jalen Rose, Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, and those guys getting laid off. It sucks when layoffs happen. It's a tough conversation that people try to have. I know everyone thinks they understand why these things happen, but I don't think anybody truly gets it. So Michelle Beadle, she's with the San Antonio Spurs now, working with them, but in a lot of ways you have to think her and Rachel Nichols feel like they dodged a bullet and they got out of ESPN at time. A lot of times when you go through some controversy and you get off of the ship, you look back and you see a sinking ship and you like, well, it's a good thing I got out there and I was on my grind trying to find something else before all of this happened. Because now it's a pool of people from your profession trying to get the same opportunities that was afforded to you. Now, it was very big for Rachel Nichols when she got on with Showtime because they were looking for that female that already had that platform. So ESPN sort of dropped the ball. You got this host, Rachel Nichols, and sports sideline reporter, all that. She brought all that to the table. And Showtime is sitting there licking their chops, rubbing their hands together like Birdman. Like, we're going to bring her in and let her handle that. I don't know what they doing. And so they brought her in, not somebody they have to train or anything like that. We can bring her in, and she's on several shows over there right now. And you see the views that the Showtime basketball is getting. They basically got a lot of the people that used to run through ESPN and get hours over there. Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Paul Pierce, Garnett, Rachel Nichols, list goes on. And so Showtime is really building their basketball department off of the people ESPN pushed that got a face in sports broadcasting now. So, but I think Michelle Beadle, she went through something, with a prominent NBA player, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit later. But these ladies, what I can say is they got off the ship at the right time, and now they've found their footing, and you got all these other people out there that's looking for their next opportunity in sports media. Whether they gonna boss up and do it on their own, or they're gonna try to find another job, has yet to be seen. Who's gonna do that and who's gonna try to do it on their own. But one thing's for sure is these ladies avoided all of that competition. I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Peace.